Welcome to your Marks Max Muscles Amateur Grand Prix. Today's matchup features Leon Brown versus Paul Grant. I'm sure many of you thought you stumbled upon the 1970s Gladiator Round Tournament. No, this is the Amateur Grand Prix, and both of these gentlemen have every right to be in these brackets. Do not underestimate either one of these guys. They are armed with some superior poses, trust me when I tell you. Paul Grant is winning in this front relaxed position. That comes to no surprise at all to me. Leon Brown, this is not his specialty, this front relaxed position at all. But as you will see, as this matchup unfolds, he is an awesome athlete. All right, 1-0 Grant. Leon Brown able to tie things up after the second pose. This front double bicep pose is definitely Leon Brown's. Look at the size of those arms. Massive. They not only match the size of the much larger Paul Grant, but maybe even larger. And that tiny little wee waist. Paul Grant's conditioning is awesome, though, I must say. Not enough to beat the superior frame in this awesome pose. Look at that tiny waist, big legs, huge lats. Awesome, awesome pose for Leon Brown. Tie game. This front lat spread is one heck of a battle. Right out of the chute, I will say, Grant is getting the advantage as far as the camera angle is concerned. The camera is placed very low, and that brings those lats out. Super, super good. But this is all judged on pictures, so we have to go with what we have. And what we have here is still one heck of a matchup, one good battle. Man, I don't know. The separation in those legs on Leon Brown. But Paul Grant has an excellent set of wheels, too. For those of you who thought these two would not be good enough for this tournament, have a look at these two poses. These guys will throw down with any of these giants in this tournament with this fantastic pose. I'm giving this to Grant. He's a little bit bigger, of course, and when all things are equal, size does matter. Poor Leon Brown has found himself into a deficit after this side chest pose. The score reads 3-1 now. Of course, there is some poses remaining, but I have to say, Paul Grant is a lot better than most people give him credit for. A lot of people argue with me when I say that he should have won the 1975 universe. He is so much better than Mike Katz or especially Ken Waller, the evil Lord Ken Waller. This man is unreal. Unreal. Now, there is no side tricep pose for this unbelievable athlete of Paul Grant, which is disappointing to me and to you Leon Brown fans, as it's plain to see that he probably would have been winning this pose. Look at this awesome side tricep. Fantastic. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw Leon Brown a point here. Why not? A little bit of politics, but come on. He would have won this pose. This back shot, however, Leon Brown may be in trouble. And this is one of those reasons why I feel Paul Grant is so underrated. Look at the back. Not only matches his unbelievable front, but probably even better. Look at the traps. The lower lat insertions are unreal. And don't blame this on the good lighting. Trust me when I tell you, those lower lat insertions in that Christmas tree of Paul Grant are world class. Now, this back of Leon Brown is no small potatoes at all. Look at the thickness of those lower lats. Not enough to beat the bigger, better man. All right, there is no rear lat spread, but I dug up this. This is somewhat of a comparison, I guess. A rear lat spread on the part of Leon Brown and a Christmas tree pose on the part of Paul Grant. Now, normally I wouldn't even bother with this. And you know what? I'm not even going to award a point to anybody in this. It's ridiculous. But this is showing just how good Grant was. Can you imagine a Christmas tree and lower lat insertions like this? And still, they did not let him beat Ken Waller, the evil Lord Ken Waller. Can you imagine? This Christmas tree, this is as good as Samir Banu's or better. Of course, everybody always picks on Samir when somebody has a good Christmas tree, but let's bring it up and show it here. And normally when somebody boasts a Christmas tree as good as Samir Banu's, they're not really as good, but it's plain for us all to see here. We should celebrate this. Paul Grant's Christmas tree. It's standing up for itself. I'm not saying it's beating Samir's, but man, it's close here. It is close. Now, if you were to say to somebody, Paul Grant had a Christmas tree just as good as Samir Banu's, they would look at you like you were crazy. But we're not crazy. Look at this Christmas tree of Paul Grant. Anyway, I get a little too excited when I see something like this. Here in the most muscular pose, and I have to give this one to Leon. Not a good pose for Paul Grant at all. This is not the type of physique that should be snapping a crab pose. Just makes him look thin, very thin. He's showing the abs and all, but nothing doing. Look at the delts, look at the triceps, look at everything on Leon, the pecs. What a great pose for him. Now, there was no ab and thigh shot for Paul Grant, much like there was no side tricep. Disappointing. So, I'm going to show another most muscular, and I know it's kind of stupid to give another point for another most muscular. It doesn't really make sense. But Paul Grant, to be honest, was winning this one anyway, whether he won or lost the most muscular. So, I figured I would just show this one to prove that Paul Grant could not only stand up for himself in the most muscular in this variation here, but probably is winning. Depending on who's judging this, those pecs of Leon Brown are massive, but I like the aesthetics of Paul Grant a little bit better. And he has those legs, much bigger and better, in this pose at least. So, this was a very close matchup, but Paul Grant is the winner, and he does advance in this tournament. There remains one more match in the first round of action. And ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and look at this matchup. Dave Palumbo versus Victor Richards. Palumbo himself will watch this one. I guarantee Palumbo he's at home right now, wondering himself, maybe even a little bit nervous going up against Victor Richards. But Palumbo has the groceries, trust me. One to look forward to for sure. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.